Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video. Today I'm doing a video on another new news video, basically of all the different bits and pieces and merch, as it were, merchandise, as it were, that I have acquired during January. Of this recording, it's the 23rd of January, 2019. Oh, the year of our Lord, 2019, if you will. And yeah, I mean, when I originally recorded this, I've got the non-Doctor Who stuff, so if anyone is even remotely interested in the non-Doctor Who stuff, I'll go quickly through that, and then get to the better stuff, which will be the Doctor Who merch. But yeah, I bought 2 of these films from HMV, almost at Amazon, but then the third one I had to get from Amazon because HMV didn't have the other 2, or the other one film that I was looking for, which is kind of annoying, but yeah, considering I was there. Pacific Rim, I've seen the second one. I still haven't seen this recording, but I really enjoyed the second one when I watched that at the cinema, so I thought I might as well get the first one, see what that one's like, and then obviously, as to be expected, I then found it on Netflix when I was under the assumption that it wasn't on Netflix, so that's great. Not. Could have just watched it on there. But yeah, hopefully I enjoy it. I don't have any real comments to make about it, because as I say, I hadn't seen it. If it's all like the second one, then I should enjoy it, even though apparently the second one most people think's really crap. Also, I'm surprised the second one even got made, though, because the first one financially didn't do too well. Then you've got Marvel's Doctor Strange, which was the film that I had to get from Amazon for $6.99 because I couldn't find it in HMV, which, as I said, is kind of annoying. Really enjoyed it when I watched it on Netflix, and yeah, it's definitely up there for one of my favourite Marvel superhero films. Don't know if I'd go so far to say if it's one of my favourite films of all time, sort of thing, but definitely up there in terms of Marvel films. Really good, really fun, really just visually striking and different. Really do regret not seeing it at the cinema, because that would have been amazing to see in like IMAX 3D sort of thing, or in just IMAX generally. Now this one I got because I got the original, not the original, I got the hair on that, I got the prequel trilogy for Christmas, and that, so it just made sense to get the complete original trilogy, considering that prior to purchasing this I only had Empire Strikes Back. Granted, out of the 3 films, that is my favourite one out of the first 3 films. A New Hope is really good because obviously it's the first one. Empire Strikes Back is just really, really fucking good, and then Return of the Jedi is okay. I mean, as I say, I do like all 3 of them, but yeah, Empire Strikes Back's my favourite one of the 3. And then moving on, obviously the rest of this is all just Doctor Who merch. So yeah, depending on when I upload this, I should have reviewed both these Big Finish audios, but so yeah, basically if you want more of an in-depth review of both these Big Finish audios that I picked up this month, please do check out the individual reviews for them, because they're more in-depth and that, whereas here I'm just going to give a brief summary. Silent Scream, it was okay, it was just slightly above average, so, you know, it just about got a 7 out of 10 from me, from what I remember of the review, and that, sorry about hitting the camera there, but yeah, it's probably not great. You know, it's like a really strong high 6/low 7 out of 10, you know, it's not the best story ever, but it's not the worst thing I've ever listened to. Really good concept, really good location, bad guys are pretty cool. It's just meh. There's just something about it that makes it not great, or not as good as it could have been. The Heliax Rift, now, I mainly purchased this one for 2 reasons, because at the point where I wanted it, or got it, it was the thing was, I wanted a Peter Davison story, but I didn't know where to start, so I asked on one of the Facebook groups that I'm part of, Big Finish listeners, I think it was, what Big Finish audio to get next, or with the 5th Doctor, which 5th Doctor want to get, and no, I don't think anyone actually did say the Heliax Rift to get that, but they said loads of different things and that, and then I remembered on Big Finish, their Facebook group thing, or Facebook page, they said something about the Unit trilogy, and then I was like, oh wait, so I've already got Hour of the Cybermen and Warlock's Cross, So I just need the Heliax Rift. So it just made sense to get this because it was killing two birds with one stone, as they say, because I'd be getting a Fifth Doctor story, and I'd also be getting, or completing a trilogy in the monthly range with the Unit trilogy. Of this recording, I haven't listened to it or reviewed it, but then again, I might have, if wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, I guess, with the recording thing. But yeah, I have listened to Peter Davison in Light at the End. That's it, though. So this will be my first Peter Davison and our Fifth Doctor story, so hopefully it's good. No pressure there, I guess. But yeah, and also it doesn't help that it's with one of the Doctors that I'm not as fond of, in contrast to a lot of the other ones. But also, there's that, but then also it's got the burden of being the first part to a trilogy of stories. So with, as I say, the likes of then Colin and then Sylvester, who are two Doctors that I kind of like a bit more. Even though I'm not a massive fan of Colin's Doctor, he at least gives me something to work with, I guess, in terms of his performance. And then McCoy, out of the three of them, is probably my favourite Doctor out of the three. Anyway, although Fourth Doctor is my favourite Doctor generally. But yeah, so yeah, this should be a fun listen to. And that's it in terms of Big Finish audios I picked up this month. I'm not going to be picking up any in February or the rest of this month, all February. Then I got this fanzine, which was the last thing I just reviewed. I recorded the review for this yesterday, so this came with a 7th Doctor story, a 4th Doctor story, and a 5th Doctor story. I really enjoyed the 4th Doctor and the 5th Doctor story, which is ironic because, as I just said, the Pete Davidson's 5th Doctor isn't my favourite Doctor, but I really enjoyed Phantom of the Space Opera, and I also really enjoyed Body of the Sidemen. They were great. And yeah, it's a really little nice comic book fanzine sort of thing. If you want to support Doctor Who fans, I highly recommend purchasing this. Then this just arrived today, Doctor Who Scratchman by Tom Baker, and it's also, fun fact, co-written and edited, I think, by the same person who did this, which was James Goss. So that's pretty cool. So he's already got like a working relationship with Tom and that, and it's a really, really nice hardback sort of book, and I've only read like the prologue, which kind of, from what I remember of the War Games, because I've only watched that episode once, and it was quite a few years back now. Back when, whatever year it was when I reviewed it on the channel, that was the last time I actually watched the episode, the War Games. So if you find that review on the channel, you'll know why I'm probably very hazy about this book and how it starts anyway. Because I feel like it starts the way the War Game ends, the War Games ends, and by that I mean with the Doctor sort of being on trial, and him trying to explain what's happened, or the events of this. Like, what I mean is the beginning and the prologue is set, although it's at the beginning, is set at the end of the story, just to really fuck with you, I guess. But it's set at the end of the story as though Tom has just got back from whatever's just happened with the Scratchman, and got back, or been summoned back to Gallifrey to recall the events of that, because the Time Lords, as per usual, are probably really pissy with him and have got really, pissed off and annoyed at him, and that for whatever reason. And then, yeah, you've got lovely spine and just lovely hardback, very Stephen King-esque cover with this, like, nail board and crows and then Tom in the background. And it's also written in such a way that it's from the Doctor's perspective, which is a rarity, really, when you think about it. Although the Doctor is the main character, we only ever see the perspective of the companions, so yeah. And then you've got a bit there as well as this really demonic scarecrow type thing, which is really eerie. I cannot wait to read this, but unfortunately at the minute I am still in the reading stages, and or continuing to read through Tom Baker's autobiography, which is a bit of a slog to get through, because he's just got, there's so many pages, it just never seems to end, to be honest. But yeah, probably doesn't help that I'm just dyslexic, so not great at reading, but and again, that was one of my New Year's resolutions this year, to read more. And then, if you couldn't already tell, the latest issue of Doctor Who magazine, mainly picked this up because it's got my main man, Tom. A lot of Tom Baker stuff, you know, you've got that fanzine with the Tom Baker story, you've got the Tom Baker Big Finish, Scratchman, and then now this magazine, even. yeah, you've got like stuff to do with Scratchman and James Goss talking about it and that, and stuff right at the beginning, if I can even get to the pages, you know. So yeah, like that's pretty cool as well. Like, there you go, there's Tom with the copy of Scratchman, and then yeah, just some other stuff with like Series 11 and that, and bits and pieces, you know, the huge from Doctor Who magazine. Yeah, 534th issue. So yeah, those were the things and bits and pieces that I got this month, January, and yeah, hope you had a good January and all good time picking up whatever nerdy stuff you like picking up and buying and purchasing and whatnot. So yeah, thanks for watching, comment, rate and subscribe.